within a minute, 2 people fighting on the bus, and literally the guards just sitting there watching, laughing, while they're just fighting the whole way. I'm talking blood like everywhere. And they're just literally beating the 7 bells out of each other, all because someone spat on the bus and it landed on someone else's shoe. So now I'm thinking, wow, like if this is happening on the bus, what is happening inside the prison?
What's the story, everybody? Pete here from Thairish Times. Hope you are doing well. So this is part 2 of an interview with Mark from England. And in part 1, Mark told us his Thailand story, how he started a business in Phuket, which failed, and he ultimately became homeless. And in this video, he's going to talk about his time inside a Thai prison, the conditions, sleeping shoulder to shoulder with 70 prisoners in a cell. He's going to talk about prison fights, being stripped naked in front of 500 people, the ladyboys he encountered in prison, how he was able to make it back to the UK while saving another man's life in the process. He's going to talk about the Immigration Detention Centre in Bangkok, the IDC, not a place you want to end up. He's going to talk about the conditions in there as well. So that is part 2. I've been talking to Mark and we've been going back and forth. There is a chance that Mark might come on for another video where he just addresses your questions and your comments. So in part 1, there was a lot of criticism of Mark and his choices. Mark would like to come back on and address some of those criticisms. And if you have any criticisms or comments or any questions, put them down in the comment section of this video and we'll try and get Mark to answer them. All right, cheers, folks. Hope you enjoyed the video.
I've eventually gone in, so I'm in now. There's no turning back. But I've gone through the gates. I'm at the thing. I've said, look, I'm here to self-surrender for an overstay. Like, they've gone, yeah, like, have you got a copy of your passport? I've gone, yeah, here's the copy. They've done the thing. At this point, I was 192 days overstay. They've sort of said, like, look, you need to go to court. It was like, maybe you go to prison or you pay and then you come back to IDC. It's like your usual thing. There was like, oh, yeah, you'll stay here one night. You stay here one night and they embassies send you home. So I'm thinking, okay, perfect. Like, there was like, but today's Friday. There was like, tomorrow is a holiday, so court's not open. So you have to stay here and you'll go to court on Sunday. So I was like, okay, yeah, that's fine. So I was put in this small room in the IDC, small blanket to go over you, no pillows, nothing. One little shower that was a bucket with the small bucket that you tip over you. This was what was classed as the short time cell or the VIP cell. So people used to pay a bit of an extra incentives to be able to stay in this room because there was only 5
That was nicer
people.
than the other ones, was it?
Yeah, but at this point I'd not seen the other rooms, so I didn't know. I thought this was just the normal of how it was. So there was 5 of us in there.
Aircon.
No, but I had a couple of fans, about 5 fans. There was a fan each. We're brought a lot of food. We're getting a bit of extras up. We could smoke cigarettes just sitting in the room. People would bring us cigarettes. There was a Korean guy in there who'd been there for nearly 2 years.
2 years?
Yeah, and basically seemed like he had a lot of money. He had a Thai wife that would bring him money every day. So he was just paying for a lot of things.
What was he there for?
Some sort of money laundering back at home. He was wanted back in Korea, not wanted in Thailand. But basically,
But why was he not deported?
Because you have to, when you get to the immigration, they make you sign this paperwork to basically say that you're going to be deported. If you don't sign it, they can't deport you. The embassy from your home country or the police from your home country then has to travel to Thailand, come and get you and physically take you home. A lot of countries aren't going to do that. They're just going to leave you to rot in Thailand. So if you don't sign the paperwork to say, yes, I want to be deported, I want to go home and face whatever problems I've got at home, you stay in the immigration. So there was a French guy, again, that was wanted back in France, didn't sign the paperwork. He'd been there nearly a few years.
But then did the French police not go over and get him then?
No, they hadn't, no. I think eventually they will, but it's just the kind of thing
So basically you're there to rot.
Yeah, basically. But yeah, I'm thinking, like, wow, again, I'm sort of quite sort of happy, thinking, yeah, I've signed my paperwork, I'm going to court on Sunday, I'm going home. and sort of these guys, they were nice blokes. There was an old Malaysian guy in there that had only been there for a week or so. He was just waiting on his embassy to go home. And then there was another boy who'd come the same day as me from Turkey. He didn't speak any English, so I didn't ever properly speak to him. But the Korean and the French guy, they were both really nice. Like again, they gave me cigarettes and like a bit of bread with a chocolate spread and things like this. Like sort of like yeah, you're only here for a couple of days. Like you're okay. So I'm like yeah, good. And then yeah, so basically I've stayed there till Sunday. Got no complaints about this sort of room that I was in. Like I said, there's only five of us. Quite a big room. Had enough space, shower, toilet. I'm sort of thinking, oh, this isn't as bad as what YouTube says, sort of thing. Obviously, I've done a load of oh, what's prison in Thailand like, and I'm seeing all these hundreds of people in one cell, and I'm thinking, no, like oh, it's obviously dramatized for TV or something. I'm like, obviously, isn't that bad anymore? Or I'm thinking it might have been bad like 10 years ago, but now it's changed. Now it's okay. So yeah, I've sort of left quite happily on the Sunday to go to court. I'm thinking I'm going to go to court, pay my sort of 5,000 baht fine, and they will. I might have to do 1 or 2 days in prison, or it might just get straight away deported. On my way there, this is where again it's the only sort of thing that I've got bad to say about the sort of immigration sort of people out there and sort of that side of the police force is while I'm there, I had one of the policemen basically say, I give the money to him, I give the 5,000 baht to him, and then he pays it when we get to the court. I've never been through a court system in Thailand. Obviously, I have been in England, but I know it is completely different in Thailand. You know, you just pay your little fine to the police and everything gets done for you. So I'm thinking, yeah, that's what's going to happen. I've now been dropped off at the court. I'm waiting. I'm handcuffed in the courtroom waiting.
You shackled on your feet?
No, not on my feet. I wasn't. No, it was just my hands. So I was on my hands, and then there was like three other people next to me. There was a few other Thai guys that were there. Most of them were there. Just looked like they all had money, just to be able to pay their fines and leave. So I'm thinking again. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to pay my fine, go back to IDC, and then yeah, go home. All of a sudden, man's come in, Thai man, basically saying like, oh, he was my translator. I'm like, yes, okay. He's like, oh, he's like, have you got? He's like, you overstay, yes. I'm like, yeah. He's like, you self surrender. I'm like, yes, like I self surrendered. He's like, oh, you have your 5,000 baht fine.
Oh.
I'm like, I paid it already. He's like, no, he's like, you pay after court. He's like, you pay after court. I'm like, I pay police. He's like, what police? I'm like, from the ones that bring me from IDC to here to go to court, I paid them. He's like, they're not here. So they took me to the thing
Bastards.
and basically left, and I've basically paid them 5,000 baht for a transport to the court. That's basically what they've said. They was like, no, that was for your transport to go to court. But I'm like, this is literally ridiculous now.
So what did you do?
But
Did you kick off then?
yeah, I'm kicking off, but at the same time, I can't because I'm in handcuffs, surrounded by Thai police in a Thai court. No one speaks a word of English. I'm trying to translate for a translator.
And really, it's a small amount of money. I mean, it's what is it, 120 quid or something? I mean,
Yeah,
it's not huge money.
yeah, that's what I mean. And this year he's gone, oh, so he's like, you cannot pay. You cannot pay. I'm like, well, no, I have paid. It's not like I cannot pay. I was like, I've already paid. He's like, no, you have more money. You have more money. I'm like, no, like, I don't have anything. Like, I'm pulling out my wallet. I'm like, look, I have zero. Like, that was my last money to go home. He's like, oh, you call family, call family. I'm like, no, like, I've already tried. If I could call family, I would have been home already. I wouldn't be in this position now. Like, he's like, okay, you go to jail. And I'm like, oh, what, back to IDC? He's like, no, you go jail. You go prison.
Apologies for interrupting the video, folks, but I have a sponsor for today's video, which helps me keep the show on the road. Now, we all know there's so many places to explore in Bangkok, and as soon as we arrive in the airport, Suvarnabhumi Airport, we are all excited. We just want to get a taxi straight to our hotel and, enjoy our holiday. The last thing you want to do is jump into another queue and wait to buy a SIM card. So that's why I recommend Saily, the smart way to stay connected while you travel. So with Saily, you can set up your eSIM before you leave home. It works in 200 destinations. So as soon as you arrive, you're connected, you are ready to go. What makes Saily stand out is how simple and flexible it is. You select a plan that matches your trip, whether it's for a couple of days or several months, and you can activate the plan in just a couple of taps. The app also allows you to track data in real time, and if you do run out of data, you'll be able to top up instantly. So no more running out of data mid-adventure, 2 a.m. down a soy in Bangkok or on a boat cruise in the middle of the Chao Phraya River. Saily also offer 24/7 customer service, a 30-day money-back guarantee, built-in security features like safer browsing and ad blocking, and it's powered by the team behind NordVPN, so your connection is private and secure. So if you're planning a trip, skip the airport sim stalls and go with Saily. Visit saily.com/Thairish or download the Saily app. And don't forget to use my code Thairish at checkout for a 15% discount off your plan. Now, back to the video.
So I'm like, why? He's like, 1 day, 500 baht. So basically, it works out there. When you go to court, say the crime you commit, you'll get a certain fine. So my fine was 5,000 baht. So if you can't afford to pay your fine, you go to prison. 1 day in prison equals 500 baht. So say for 5,000 baht, it's 10 days. Because every day amounts to 500 baht. So they've gone, right, you go to prison for 10 days. I'm thinking I'm going to the IDC for 10 days. But I'm thinking this is the immigration issue. I've not committed any crimes. I've not, obviously, yeah, I've committed an immigration offence by overstaying my visa, but I've not committed any crime. I've not stolen anything. I've not hurt anyone. I've not been involved in drugs. I've not done anything like that. I've just generally overstayed my visa. And they've gone, no, you go to, first of all, we went to Bangkok remand prison. I was there. Basically went there, done all my paperwork.
Is that Klong Prem, is it?
Yeah, Phnom Penh, yeah. It's one of the biggest ones. It's not the Bangkok Hilton. It's like the next one under the Bangkok Hilton, which is it's like a medium low risk prison. It's not a maximum security prison, but it's a bit more like you get a lot of people there that are just there for short sentences that are there to just work off fines, or people that have been good in other prisons and are now finishing off their sentences.
All right. What was that like, man? You getting transported there?
That was one of the scariest days of my entire life. To be honest, again, I've watched films like A Prayer Before Dawn, things like this of Thai prisons. I'd always heard everyone that I'd sort of spoken to has always said, "Oh, mate, you never want to go. Don't ever go to prison in Thailand. Don't ever go." All anyone ever used to say, "Don't ever go to prison in Thailand." So I'm now thinking, well, I'm now on my way to the one place I never ever wanted to go. They're going to look at, and the worst thing is, I've got no money. So I'm thinking it would have been all right if I had a bit of money, because then you can get by. You can pay for extra things. You can pay for extra food, things like that. I'm thinking I've not got any of this. I can't get no protection. I can't, like, I'm on my own. And literally, we're on the back of the prison bus now, and it's me, about 7 other Thai people. At this point, I'm shackled. I'm shackled on my feet, on my hands. I'm handcuffed to another Thai prisoner. So we're sitting side by side, handcuffed to each other, and then handcuffed to myself as well. Within a minute, there's 2 people fighting on the bus, and literally the guards are just sitting there watching, laughing, while they're just fighting the whole way. I'm talking blood like everywhere. And they're just literally beating the 7 bells out of each other, all because someone spat on the bus and it landed on someone else's shoe. So then, yeah, they started fighting on the bus, and now I'm thinking, wow, like if this is happening on the bus, what is happening inside the prison?
Were you the only foreigner on that bus?
Yeah, the only one. Yeah, well, there was one guy from Myanmar, Burma, but yeah, I was the only Farang like white person on that bus.
What was it like when you drove into the prison? You know that famous, You know,
Yeah,
that moment when you
the gates. Because like I said, first of all, we've got to Bangkok Remand Prison. Um, Gone in there, I'm sort of looking around, and there's all nice gardens outside the front of it. Like we've had to go there, we've had to do fingerprints. It's like the old-fashioned fingerprints where you have to roll it on the black thing and then put it on the paper. We've all been strip searched there. Um, Again, we've got 50, 60 people standing around you. You stand there stark naked, fucking getting strip searched, which is obviously quite degrading. It's just their way of showing their sort of bit of power. They go through all your belongings, everything. Because obviously I still had my rucksack with me from when I was homeless. So they go through all your belongings. They then took us into this little room. We all sat down in this room. But you wouldn't be sitting down properly. You'd have to crouch down. You wouldn't like put your bum on the floor and cross your legs. You'd be crouching on the
like
floor.
squat down.
Yeah, basically squatting. I'm still in my own clothes at this point. I've not been given the prison clothes or anything. And then man comes round with this big metal bucket just with rice, and then another metal bucket with some chicken soup. But there was no chicken inside it. It was just boiled vegetables and like a few little small bits of chicken like that. He's gone, yeah, like eat king cow. So I'm like, okay, everyone sat there eating. He's gone, now two people that were on my bus went into the remand prison because I presume that their case must have been quite big, that they're probably going on some sort of trial. So they've gone into the remand prison and they've gone, you back on bus. So I'm thinking, oh, like, I'm not at this place then. So they've took me and four other people back on the bus, shackled back up again. We've then come round the corner. It's about a 5 minute drive from the remand prison, and literally I'm seeing this like big walls, all the barbed wire and all that this time, and I'm thinking, right, this is the proper place. The big orange gates have opened. We've gone in now. Straight away, blokes come, big massive wooden baton, smashing the side of the van. Out, bah, which means go, ah, out. I'm sitting there, I'm like, now, like, everyone's running, sprinting, we're all handcuffed to each other. So it's like, we're all now running down the thing. They're like, basically, sit here. We have to get all our photos done with the holding the, like the board with our name and all this on it. I'm like, anyone speak English? Anyone speak English? No one is speaking any English. Like, I can speak sort of bit pigeon Thai. I can have a conversation with a girl in a bar, but I can't have a conversation with a security man in a prison. But it's two different types of people. So I'm now sort of trying to sort of say to people, oh, do you speak English? Do you speak English? Do you speak English? No one's spoken English. And I'm sort of thinking like, right, I'm gonna have trouble here. At this point, they've took all the handcuffs and that off us. They've given us a blue t-shirt. It's like a V-neck t-shirt with two little pockets on it, and these blue shorts. But the blue shorts are probably about 3 times the size for me. But what you have to do, once you put them on, you fold them in half and then like tie a knot and then do it up. So it's like one size fits all, basically. They've like took us in. They've got again like so you get two blankets and then like another like small blanket, and you get an empty bottle of water. And basically they like stand here. Again, all of us have had to strip down. At this point, we're in full view of the whole prison. So you're talking 500-600 people are
All coming out
watching.
looking at you like in the movie, like fresh
Yeah,
fish or whatever.
yeah, just shouting Falang. Um, Again, at this point, I'm the only white person I can see. Again, still at this point, no one's speaking English.
What did that feel like to, strip off in front of 500 people all screaming at you?
It's just scary, to be honest. So you hear a lot of horror stories of things like that in there. Yeah, you hear a lot of rape stories, a lot of people getting killed in these prisons. So at this point, I'm just scared, but at the same time, I'm not wanting to show too much weakness, because the last thing I want to do is be an easy target for anyone. So I'm just sort of trying to keep my face stern as possible, look everyone in the eye, try to be respectful as I can to the officials, Like
And
when he's sort of,
are you standing there bollock naked, like in
yeah,
front of just
standing there
standing
bonnet
there?
naked. I've just had to squat up and down 10 times, and literally standing there fully naked. And all of a sudden, he comes by one, took the wooden baton thing. He basically puts it under your balls, lifts your balls up, looks underneath, everything. Like, and then like, at this point, they're laughing the whole way through it. The security, like, this is a big joke to them. Like, and you've got some young kids there are literally standing there shaking. Like, I've been to prison before in England, so I sort of know how to act in a prison system. But obviously, this is not anything like English prison. Yeah. So at this point, I'm just trying to keep stern face, trying to be respectful to the Thai officials. Like, they're sitting there making me strip naked. I'm bowing and saying thank you. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, sort of just trying to keep it some sort of respectful as possible. They've then gone, yeah, get dressed, get dressed. I'm like, okay, and they're like, oh, you come with us. We've gone round. There's like a block with probably about 10 rooms in it. You got 5 rooms downstairs, 5 rooms upstairs. This is a point like where you see in the videos where there's hundreds of people at the bars, faces through the bars, everyone just screaming in Thai. At this point, it's probably about 7, 8 o'clock at night. Everyone's just shouting. I can't understand anything anyone's saying. Got people like, oh, Falang, come, like trying to grab my t-shirt as I'm walking past and all this. Like, I'm just face straight. I'm just walking forward. At this point, we've got into this room. Guards open this door. Then bah. Like, go. I'm like, okay. Gone inside. There's like this boy is quite young. Don't know his exact age, but to me, he looked around mid-20s. Sort of sitting in the corner. Quite a few people sort of surrounded by him. They're sort of all sitting there eating some noodles or something. He's then stood up. Basically, he was the room leader of this room. He's basically gone straight away. First of all, he's gone Falang over there, over there. There was a small space in the corner. Basically, like, you sleep there. So it's probably shoulder width size. So I could lay on my back. That's about it. I had a Thai person next to me here, and then there was only one other white guy in the room. Only other Westerner, he's from Canada. He was on the right hand side of me.
What was he
But as I
there for?
walked, he was in there for something to do with a bike crash. I think he got caught drink driving, crashed the bike, and then yeah, again he didn't have the money to pay his fine at court, so he was in there for he was been in there for about 3 4 months, and I'd already got there, and he had about 6 months left.
And then he got back to the IDC then.
Yeah, well, he'd go back to the IDC after that and be deported and everything. But yeah, he was all really like, skin and bone, like one of the skinniest men I've ever seen. Like I said, the only other foreigner in there, and there was a few like Cambodian, Burmese, Thai, but they all had their own little groups. Like they could walk in and speak language to whoever. I'm just sort of sitting there like deer in headlights.
So that guy, the room leader or whatever, he kind of did you a favor then by putting you beside the other guy that can speak English.
Yeah. So you just sort of like Falang, that's your corner. You go over there. So again, I'm like, okay. It's about 7, 8, about 8 o'clock now. Sort of the lights are on. Lights stay on 24 hours a day. There's no darkness. So literally, it's like bright lights, 24 hours. Everyone's sort of talking and everything. The Canadian guy. He was asleep when I first come in. Obviously, I didn't want to wake him up, so he's woken up. About half an hour later, sort of introduced himself. Sort of me and him, and then speaking. I'm sort of at this point, I'm a bit relieved. I'm sort of now actually having a conversation with someone. He's sort of telling me the ins and outs of how things work, what sort of goes on here, things like that. I was like, oh, okay, blah. But then he's sitting there and don't mean to be horrible to him because everyone's got their own problems, but he's constantly itching, scratched himself, and I found out he's got scabies.
What is that? Some kind of skin
Yes,
infection, is it?
yeah, it's a flesh eating disease, but it's contagious.
Oh
Um,
shit.
and people lose their limbs over it. People with like their feet cut off, hands lost their hands over it. Um, Things like that. It's not something that's curable.
And you have to
Um,
sit next to him. You're going to be touching him shoulder to
yeah,
shoulder, yeah?
I'm sleeping right next to him. Like, um, again, we're both just in shorts and t-shirts sleeping now. So I'm now thinking, like, automatically, I'm now itching. You know, it's when you get that feeling like like, I'm now thinking, like, I'm gonna have these sort of conditions. But luckily, he sort of knew about his problems. So there was, even though there wasn't a lot of space, like, luckily again, like, I'm not a bully or anything, but there was sort of a young Thai boy to the left side of me. It was a bit, everyone sort of, no one liked him in the room. You see a lot of the Thai people go up to him, slap him around because he was a bit crazy. Like, he'd shout all the time and things like this. Like, he'd get slapped about a lot. So I basically kept telling him every day, like, move up, move up, move up, but to sort of give me a bit of space in between this guy. So then we'd never actually skin to skin contact.
Yeah, you're in survival mode. It's prison. That's
Yeah,
what I mean. That's what it is. You need to
yeah,
take care of yourself. If it means you have to tell someone to move up, I mean, I do the same thing.
yeah.
Survival.
So yeah, luckily I never caught anything from this Canadian guy. Sort of, yeah, had the little Thai man there, but like, it'd be a thing of like, it's like he'd talk to himself in his sleep and all this, and I'd just wake up and either I'd give him a slap or someone else would give him a slap and just tell him to shut up. Because after 9 p.m. in Thai prison, you're not allowed to speak. No one's allowed to talk after, from 9 p.m. until 6 a.m. When you get woken up to do the national anthem, everyone has to stand up, pray, sing the national anthem. Yeah, while they do the flag and everything outside, and then you have to then do the count. So everyone's nung song sam si ha ho jet. Luckily, I can only count to 20 in Thai, and luckily I was number 10, so it wasn't too bad. Otherwise, again, you get beaten if you say the wrong number. But stupid little things like that were hard.
What about any rape or anything?
I didn't see any of it at this point. Because I said I'm on the second floor, and we was in like a quarantine. Um, so we hadn't been outside yet. Like, we'd not actually mixed with the main people. So everyone that had been there had either been transferred from another part of the prison or from a different prison or straight from court. So you stay in this room for 4 days and then you get transferred downstairs into the main prison. So I've not really seen much. And at this point, there was four Thai guys, looked like sort of quite serious guys. They were getting a lot of respect. A lot of people coming up to the bars, giving them stuff. One of them was a tattoo artist. He was doing tattoos in the prison, things like that, with the sakyan, with the hand poke
Yeah, yeah.
needle. And they said they'd been transferred from the Bangkok, like the main Bangkok prison. So I think obviously they were quite well respected. Again, they've sort of took me a bit under their wing, even though we didn't speak, could not speak at all. Like, we could have a little one or two words, like, speaking in Thai, but every day, like, they'd have loads of noodles because again, they all had money in there, so you can order things from the shop, like noodles, bread, bottled water, tea, coffee, sugar. Where you get three in ones, everything's all three in one. So yeah, every morning they'd say, "Fulang, Fulang, come, come." Like, sit down with them. They'd all make me a cup of tea, cup of coffee. We'd all eat noodles together. They always used to get extra food, so they'd give me a bit of extra food every day because it was literally the same meal 3 times a day. It was rice and boiled vegetables. Hardly any meat. So yeah, the food weren't nice. And then after the 4 days, they said, "Oh, you outside, outside." This is now the first time that I've been outside and downstairs. First time I've been out of the room. I'm seeing there's now, so say in the room I was in, there was probably 70 of us in this one room. So like I said, all of us like sardines, 70 people. So you can imagine there was fights every single day. People just getting on each other's nerves. And then now all of a sudden I'm downstairs and I'm seeing these big rooms now, and all I'm seeing the numbers, the number of people written on the doors. And the room I'm about to go in was 138 people in one room, which it was the like busiest room. And again, sort of not being horrible to this like Canadian guy because it was nice to have someone to speak to, but I was kind of hoping that me and him would get split up because at this point it was, like I said, his skin's very bad and things like this, that I didn't want to be put next to him again and basically risk of catching whatever this disease was that he had. Um, But again, they put me and him together again. But luckily now, I've obviously got these sort of friends in Thai that I've got a little bit of influence. Like they didn't get told where to sleep; they chose where they wanted to sleep. Like they had a bit of influence within the prison. I've just gone to one of them. I'm like, my day. Like I cannot sleep there. Basically, and they've got no. Like they've gone to the room leader in there. They said, "Falang, sleep here." So they brought me and made me sleep next to them. They had a bit more of a bigger space. Like basically, a man comes round with like a piece of string. It's about, so I said, about shoulder width long, and measures everyone's bed every single day to make sure you've not got more space. But they would get a piece and a half of string each, whereas everyone else got one string.
No
So they,
way. So was this another prisoner that did this?
yeah, yeah. So basically, it was a trustee. So there was no guards in the prison. There was trustees, which were lifers, people that got a life sentence that had behaved and that were trustees. They'd walk around with big metal sticks. They'd lock you up every night. Was prisoners that would lock you up. The guards would sit in their little tower watching the cameras. You'd never see them. They'd only come out if there was a fight or something would go on. The prison was run by prisoners, which again made it good in some ways, made it bad in some ways as well. Because when power goes to some people's heads, they sort of misuse it sometimes.
Yeah,
But
I can imagine they'd be vicious.
yeah, yeah, no, it was like seeing someone stole. Basically, what it is when you go for food, there's like a seating area and your plates are already set out, and then you stand in the yard in like basically your room numbers. So everyone's standing in like a long line, and you get called room by room to basically go and sit down at your spot and eat your food. One bloke, he got caught stealing someone else's rice, so he took two bowls instead of one and tried to put them together. They then took him, and I've literally all we've heard is just him screaming like from his cell. We couldn't see what was happening, but the next day he's come out, and literally his hands were disfigured. Like he couldn't even hold a spoon. Like they were black. Like literally looked like all his fingers had been broken because they just used the metal wooden bats and literally just bang, 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 just constantly. Reality of that sort of made you think like don't do. Even if you have a fight, they'll let you finish your fight, and then afterwards you both get beaten for fighting. So you have the fight, you have like probably get beaten up from the fight, and then you get beaten up by the trustees and the guards afterwards as well.
How does someone become a trustee?
Like I said, they're all people that have been given life sentences. Um, so yeah,
They're
they're all
never
people.
getting out.
No, they never ever unless they get the pardons. Obviously, you get pardons sometimes by the king. So unless they get a pardon from the king that will let them out early, yeah, they're never ever getting out. But they're sort of just they've come from the big prison, like the high security prisons, and they've just well behaved for a long period of time. So then they get moved to a bit more of a medium low security, and then get given a trustee position.
Besides the Canadian guy that was in there, were there many other foreigners in there?
Uh, Not any like sort of European. There was few African blokes in there, quite a few African, but apart from that, it was literally me and a Canadian guy with the only European, well not European, but like Falang white skin guys in the whole prison. It was literally just me and him. And again, he was a lot older than me. Like yeah, for the first couple of days, it was nice to have a conversation, but then at the end of the day, the subjects sort of run out of things to talk to a 60 something year old Canadian man. It's not really much we have in common. So yeah, it got to the point where sort of me and him didn't even really we'd say hello, but I was more again sort of either on my own with the Thai people. And to be honest, the weirdest thing about being in prison in Thailand was being surrounded by ladyboys.
I was just gonna say, what's the story with
Yeah.
the ladyboys in there?
So I remember again it was when I was in the top room upstairs. Again, I used to sleep right by the wall, so I was right by the bars. So every day I'd sort of stand at the bars watching people walk around outside, like people would play football and things like this. And then you'd have all the ladyboys would play volleyball. There was about a group of about 10, 15 of them, all sitting there. Some of them had like surgery, they have like big fake boobs, fake lips, long hair, things like this. It was very weird to see. Do you know what I mean? They sort of walk around and yeah, you get all them lift their top up and all this. Like, it was funny. Um,
Were they giving you the eyes? Were you like,
yeah, so
Farang
basically
got in
they've
there?
noticed me. One's walked past. She was quite short little skinny thing, sort of short black hair, sort of down to about here. And she's walked past like sort of my room I was in, and then she looked, and then like looked again, like and sort of double take, and then she just shouted, "Falang, Falang," like this to all the other ladyboys. All of a sudden now, my room has been surrounded by about 20 ladyboys, all sitting there, "Hello, what's your name? Like, where are you from?" They're the only ones in that whole place that spoke English. There was a group of like 6 of them that were all in there together that had been friends for a long time. They were in there for basically scams. So what it is, they'd sleep with obviously a foreigner bloke, and then start and basically they record it, record the whole thing, take photos, and then basically say like, "Look, you don't pay me a certain amount of money, I'm sending this to your wife back home that you've been sleeping with a man," basically. And they all got done on the scam, doing scam things. Yeah,
Jeez, that's a vicious scam, isn't it?
yeah. So that's what they were in there for.
And they
So
told you this, yeah?
yeah, they're all honest. Like it was like, "Yeah, we in here scam, like we scam Falang man like you and all this." But yeah, it was very weird that the only conversation I could actually have in there was I'm now sitting there on like outside. I'm surrounded by 5, 6 ladyboys all just sitting there
Is this
talking
through
to
the
me.
bars? Like you're in the room and there.
Yeah, at this point, the first conversation was through the bars, but then obviously once I then got out of quarantine and I was downstairs, sort of for my last 6 days, it'd be I'm eating with them, I'm sitting with them. Do you know what I
And
mean?
they
So
must have been trying it on with you.
they never actually tried it on in like in any sort of way. To be honest, it was very just friendly. Like obviously they do the usual thing, like, "Oh, you handsome, like I love your eyes and all this." Like I'd sort of like, "Where you from?" and everything. "Oh, England, so nice." Like you'd see them like sort of give you little smiles and little winks and all this. So if I got the impression that if I
You
if I
pursued
approached
it.
them and
Yeah.
sort of said like, "Look, do you wanna?" They would 100% said yes,
Mm.
but they didn't ever sort of sit there and approach me and put that question on me. But it was very flirty. Like, and it's weird because, like I said, I'm in there. I can see why some men would go down that road probably if they're in there for a few years. Again, straight away, I've told them I've not got no money. I've not got anything. So maybe that's why they didn't approach me in that way. Um, because they knew I couldn't pay them for anything in there. So,
Mm.
but yeah, there was one in there. She used to translate everything for me. So all my paperwork, anytime I need to speak to a guard or anything like this, she was like my translator for my 10 days while I was there. So
Some 10 days, huh?
yeah, there's a lot of 10 days,
Like
but
10 days and you have about 10 years worth of stories.
yeah, yeah, no, sort of every day because he's there. Like I said, you get waken up at 6 a.m. in the morning to do national anthem and to do the Buddhist like the prayer, and then you're not allowed to sleep. You're not allowed to sleep until 10 o'clock that night. So you got to do something with your day.
They don't let you
Um,
take a nap.
no, you can't sleep. You get sleep, you get woken up. Obviously, in the quarantine room where you're not allowed out the room, you can sleep. But then once you're in the main prison, your door gets opened after you've done your prayer and sung the national anthem. Your door gets opened. You're then outside, just basically in a big square, like it's almost like a field, but there's no grass. It's just like sort of sand almost. There's a little volleyball thing and a one football goal, and there's like a little bit you can just walk around in like a sort of square. You get put out there at sort of 8 o'clock in the morning. Your cell door gets like your room door gets locked, so you can't go back into your room until 8 o'clock at night. So you're now just walking round, walking round, walking round.
There's nothing to
Um,
do.
Nothing to do. Obviously, you go for your 3 meals a day when you sit down. You have to do count twice a day, and yeah, apart from that, you're just literally walking around, sitting down, trying to find a bit of shade. To be honest, it was boiling hot. Um, and then the best thing in there was I was in there for first day of Songkran. So my last 2 days in there was the start of Songkran this year, and the guards, well, the trustees have come round, given everyone big buckets, and the whole prison has just turned into the biggest water fight you've ever seen. Um,
No way. You just throw
yeah,
water buckets of water at each other.
yeah. So literally, everyone's just running around that whole day. That was a really fun day, to be honest. I know it sounds crazy having fun in somewhere like that. But it just took your mind away from the fact that you was in prison for the day. Everyone got a bit of extra food that night. The guards all played music. We had music playing in the thing, so you had all the ladyboys fucking taking all their top off, twerking and everything, and then everyone's all dancing and yeah, sort of we was allowed out a little bit extra that day. And yeah, even the guards are coming in and throwing water at everyone, like the real police guards from outside. They were all coming in. And then there was a women's prison next door as well, and you could hear all the women just screaming and everything, like just loud music, everyone throwing water at each other, running around the prison was just like didn't feel real. It was like yeah, it was a fun way to end my experience in the prison there.
And then what happens when you finish the 10 days and you were straight back over to IDC?
No, so what happened was I got out after the 10 days, and obviously again I'm thinking I'm going back to the IDC, but this is now it's a Tuesday, it's the second day of Songkran. So again, someone who could speak a little bit of English has come to me and basically said you can't go to IDC. IDC's closed. I'm like, it's not closed. I'm like, immigration is not just going to close in 5 days. The prison's still open. Like, there's like, yeah, but they're not doing any transfers. So you've got to go to the police station. Now, the police station is worse than prison. Like, for immunities, shall we say, like for conditions. Because then most people are there just for one night and they get taken to court. I've now been driven around to this local police station near the remand jail. Can't remember the name of the actual police station. I've now been put in this cell. Again, I've not even been given a blanket. There's no blankets, nothing. I've got a bottle of water as a pillow. The place stinks. It's wooden floor, but it's all like bubbly. It's all over the place. There was two other guys from Myanmar in the cell with me. Again, couldn't speak a word of English. And I'm thinking, they've told me I'm only going to be there for 2 days. So I'm like, okay, yeah, I can deal with this for 2 days. It's a bit of peace and quiet on my own. Like, I can deal with it. Like, yeah, it's a bit of a hellhole, but I can deal with it. I've gone through my whole, so I've been took there probably about 1 o'clock during the day. I'm thinking it's going to be similar to prison, that you get food, everything like this. I've gone all that day, the whole night, woke up the next morning. I've not been given a single bit of food, any water, nothing. Obviously, the other people that are there, they've just been arrested and are waiting to go court. So they've got their girlfriends or family bringing in food from 7-Eleven or bringing in food for them or bringing them money. And then basically the prisoners were paying the policeman to go to the 7-Eleven for them. So like, oh, go get me Pakapao Moo or Pakapao Guy. Like, and you pay double the amount of what it was. So say something was 50 baht in 7-Eleven, you'd pay 100 baht for it and the police would go to 7-Eleven and bring it to you. Obviously, I've not got any money. I've not got 100 baht. I've not got anything. So I'm now sitting there trying to speak to this policeman, but he doesn't speak a word of English. And he's shouting at me in Thai. I'm just like, Michael Chai, Michael Chai, Michael Chai, which means I don't understand. Like, I just kept saying, I don't understand. Falang English. And then all of a sudden, about 5-6 hours later, I just heard someone again come around the corner and go, Mark. I'm like, yes. Like, English? I'm like, yes. He's like, look. He explained everything to me. He was like, look, now Songkran. And he was like, then Songkran finish, it's weekend and it's holiday. He was like, you're going to be here for 9 days. I'm like,
Oh shit.
what? I'm like, they told me 2 days. He's like, no. He's like, I'm sorry. He's like, they not understand. Like, they not understand. He was like quite a high up policeman. Like, you could sort of tell just by the way the other police were treating him. Like, they'd all bow to him when he walked in and everything. He's gone, no, like, I'm sorry. Like, but you here 9 days. He's like, you smoke? You smoke cigarette? I'm like, yes. He's like, here, have cigarette, calm down. Like, 'cause at this point, I've gone 2 days, no cigarettes. I've not eaten in 2 days. And he's like, you eat today? Like, you have food? I'm like, no, like, I don't have money. I've just come from the prison. I'm waiting to go to IDC. Like, I have no money. Like, he's like, you want to call family? Like, I'll give you phone, you call family. I'm like, my family have nothing. Like, my dad has no money. I can't call my dad. Like, so I don't want dad to know I'm rotting in a police station right now. He's 60 something years old. Like, I don't want him to worry about me. Like, as far as my dad's concerned, I was in an immigration detention center, sort of doing okay, just waiting to come home. They didn't even know I'd been to prison. He's like, I can bring you 2 meals per day. He's like, I'll bring you 2 meals a day and bring you water every day while you're here. So again, I'm grateful. I'm like, yeah, thank you, thank you. And again, he literally go out every day, bring me food, just a bit of chicken and rice, like a pack of pow and rice or garlic chicken and rice. Get me packet of water, like 6 pack of water that would last me sort of a couple of days. And yeah, he'd just come bring me that every day. And then another Burmese guy came in, a guy called Moo, who we become quite close over the next 7 days. He come in and he was in a similar thing for me, just been released from the prison, waiting to be deported back to Burma. But he had a Thai girlfriend that basically would come every day, bring him some money. So he then started buying cigarettes. He was getting whiskey. He was getting whiskey brought into the prison by the police. The police would go to 7-Eleven, buy the small glass bottles of whiskey with the blue label, the really strong Thai whiskey.
Is that what Regency is it? I don't know
Yeah, I
the.
can't remember the name on it. It's like
Yeah.
really it tastes like absolute petrol. Like we were sitting there, we'd go through 2, 3 bottles of this in a day. Me and him were sitting there. He'd basically he was paying like little bits of extra to be able to use his phone while he was there. So me and him were sitting there watching YouTube videos together, like drinking whiskey, smoking cigarettes, and eating a load of food. So that made the next 7 days actually go by quite quite well, to be honest. Again, I've spoke to him since I come back to England. He's doing all right now. Obviously, there's a lot of bad things going on in Burma at the minute, so I sort of wanted to check that he was okay. But he managed to get some money and pay for a bail and was able to stay in Thailand. So yeah, that was something quite good. But yeah, it was just me and him for the 7 days. It's quite funny seeing a lot of drunk people getting arrested and coming in that was sort of there for a few hours waiting for their wife to come and pay their fine so they could be released. And there was a lot of characters in there. Um, but yeah, so I was there. I was there for 9 days. Got to the following week. It was now the Tuesday or Wednesday the following week, and they woken me up quite early in the morning. It was like, "Oh, Mark, you got IDC," and like all the police are clapping, like all like yeah, like sort of quite happy for me to sort of leave. I'm sure the other bloke's quite happy because he's not having to spend 200-300 baht a day on me now, just to feed me. So yeah, he's all clapping. He's come out, shook my hand, and said like, "Hope you get home okay. Like if you come back to Thailand, come see me, come say hello and all this." So they're sort of all clapping, saying like, "Yeah, like you go home. You spend one day in the IDC. You go home. You go home." So I'm like, "Okay." He's like, "You English? Your passport strong?" Like that's all they kept saying was English passport strong, embassy strong. So I'm thinking, yeah, like I've heard like the British Embassy, we've got one of the best British, American, and Australian three best embassies apparently. So I'm thinking, yeah, fine. This year I'm going to be home in 2 days. That's what I'm thinking in my head. So I've got to the IDC now, back in Saton, the same one that I was at for the 2, 3 nights before. And like I said to you, I thought before the place was quite not nice, but in the day there's 4 or 5 people in a little room sort of all getting given food and everything. We could smoke cigarettes, everything was fine. And I've gone, oh, like, am I back in? Because the rooms are done by letters. So I've been transferred back to the IDC. Got in. I'm like, oh, I go back to room. It's like 2C. He's like, no, 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 you upstairs now. And like, I'd heard stories about upstairs. Like upstairs was hell. He's like, no, no, you upstairs now. He's like, you're not VIP now. I'm like, what do you mean I'm not VIP? He's like, you're not VIP. He's like, that room 10,000 1 week. 10,000 baht for 1 week to stay in the VIP room. Like okay, no, I don't have. He's got yeah, you got upstairs. So now I'm thinking, oh god, here we go. Like I've heard stories about upstairs, like people dying. Like I've seen bodies getting carried down and things like that when I was in the room downstairs. Like I'm thinking this is gonna be hell now. And literally, I walked in this place straight away. Had these 3 massive Russian guys come straight up to me as soon as I'm in the room. Like, oh, come with me, come with me. They're like the room bosses. And there's this American guy, an old American guy. He was like the main boss, and these Russians were like his like muscle. Was like his army almost. He had his own little Russian army in there that done everything for him, and he'd sort of pay them a bit of money. They've took me into this room, and they're searching me like they're police. I'm like, look, like, you're not searching me. Like, you're a prisoner, I'm prisoner. Like, no, we boss. You not. They've tried strip searching me in the room, like normal prisoners. And now trying to strip search me and everything. And I'm like, no, like, you're not doing that. The main boss has then come in, tied my hands up with a piece of string, and literally stripped me to search me to check I didn't have any drugs or any weapons on me. I'm like, I've already been searched by the police downstairs. I've just come from a prison. Like, what am I gonna have? And they've even sat there. They took my lighter off me, things like this. Took all my cigarettes off me. They asked if I had any money. I'm like, no. Like, and then basically they've gone, do you want blanket? Like, after that, I've got dressed and everything. Like, I'm now like I'm angry. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm sort of just sitting there thinking, no, this is wrong. And they're like, oh, you sleep out here. And sort of gave me a little space again. They had the same string that they had in the prison. They've gone, this your space. They're like, oh, you have blanket. I'm like, no, I don't have blanket. They're like, 5,000 baht. I've gone, what?
Bastards.
We've gone 5,000 baht for blanket, or you sleep on floor. I'm like, fuck. I'm like, no, like, fuck you. Basically, like, I'm not paying 5,000 baht. Even if I had 5,000 baht, just for the point of it, I wouldn't pay you. Like, so I've been sat there. I've got my rucksack with me. So they let you take your own clothes into the IDC. You don't wear like a uniform in the IDC. So I basically laid all my clothes out and made like basically a mini bed out of all my clothes. And then yeah, that's what I sort of slept on for the sort of duration of time while I was there. Like I said, I thought I was only there for a day. There was 3, 4 other blokes in there. There was one bloke from Ireland.
Yeah, what
Um,
was he there for?
Again, he had over. Most people were in there for overstaying. So a bloke from Ireland, he was overstaying, but then he had a case ongoing in Ireland as well. He was trying to get his family to sort out. So basically, he again a similar thing. He didn't sign the paperwork when he first got there to be deported. So he'd been there for coming up to 9 months, and his family had actually flown over from Ireland to Thailand to try and help him get him home with like sort of help with the embassy and everything like this. But basically, they had to try and get the money to pay for his flight because obviously your flight home is 20,000 baht um, to fly home. So they're sort of saying like, yeah, we're gonna try and get you the money. We're gonna get you home. We're gonna get you home. So I'm speaking to him. He told me a story. I've told him mine. There's another English bloke there who again just overstayed. He'd already got his ticket. He knew when he was going home. There was a South American guy there. Again, he had his ticket. He knew when he was going home. And they've gone, oh, like when you're going home. I was like, oh, I've been told tomorrow. They've gone, you got your ticket? I was like, no. They was like, oh, you have money to book your ticket? I'm like, no. Like you're going to be here for at least 10 days, 2 weeks. I've gone, what? I've been told I'm here for one day. I've been told I'm going home tomorrow. There's like, they say that to everyone. There was like, yes, like if you've got enough money yourself, because basically they've got a travel agency within the IDC. They've got their own travel agency that sell flight tickets. The IDCs sell you a flight ticket. So say normally a flight home from Bangkok to England, probably be around 12, maybe 13, 14,000 baht. To buy it from the IDC, it's 22,000 baht. So you've now got to find a way to now get 22,000 baht, or you're stuck. You can't leave. So I'm basically saying to him like, no, like, I've not got the money. I can't afford a ticket. I haven't got 22,000 baht. Um, and they've sort of said, okay, you need to get hold of your embassy. But again, they don't get hold of the embassy for you, and you've got to pay 5,000 baht to be able to use a phone.
Oh my
So
god.
I'm now sitting there again. Luckily, the Irish bloke and everything, and the other English guy, they sort of knew how bad the system really was. So they've gone, look, write me down a message, write down the number of your embassy. Because they went for a visit, sorry, with their family every day. They'd pay and be able to go visit. He was like, I'll give your note to my wife, and basically my wife will contact the embassy and tell them that you're here. Once the embassy know they're here, they'll come and visit you. They'll help you get home. So I'm like, okay, perfect. He's done that, and then yeah, at this point I'm now 2, 3 days into the IDC. I've at this point I've seen my first person die. This is my second day. It was an old Chinese bloke. Um, Again, I think it was some sort of skin disease or something. The diseases in there were horrendous. He had bandages shit all over him. He had like plastic bags over his feet and everything. And he was just the most frail man that I'd ever seen in my life. And it was literally one morning woke up, he just didn't wake up. They left the body in the cell for nearly 6 7 hours. He was just laying there dead. Before the guards come up and sort of took him away. There was at least 5 to 6 fights every day in there over just stupid things. There was a little shop again that was run by the leader. So you could sometimes get things on like a consignment. You could say, "I'll give you this and I'll pay it when I have a visit." A lot of people then wouldn't pay, so that would cause fights. Stepping over people, sort of say if someone's a bit fidgety in their sleep and they turn over and sort of hit someone in the sleep, it's going to cause a fight. Biggest thing in there was a lot of Russian and a lot of Ukraine people. With everything that's going on out there at the minute, they're all in the same room together.
Oh, I can imagine what they were fighting. Obviously, yeah.
Yeah, they were fighting a lot, and most of them couldn't go back because the thing is with Thailand, they won't deport you to a war zone. So say they would have to try and get accepted by a different country to be allowed to be deported there. So there was one guy who'd been there now for nearly 2.5 years, Russian guy, been in the IDC for 2.5 years. He was applying for loads of different countries. He got told that Holland, Netherlands, he got told they would accept him. He's got to the airport, paid for his ticket, got to the airport's turned him away, he's come back.
Oh, nightmare.
He's then been told another 6 months later that Germany will accept him. He's got to the airport, Germany have turned him away. At this point, he's now spent over 60,000 baht on flights that he's now been turned away from. You don't get this money back. And yeah, he then went for Germany again the second time. They said, "Oh, sorry, we got your paperwork wrong. You're definitely going this time. You're going back to Germany." He's then come back again, got turned away again for the third time, killed himself that night. Um,
What?
yeah, he should come back and hang himself. Um,
Were you there when it happened?
yeah, I was there when he killed himself. Yeah, but he was in a separate bit. But like we all heard about it. There was a guy in my room that was similar as well that tried to go to Germany a couple of times and got turned away, but he was a bit stronger minded. He sort of managed to hold on to it. But yeah, with the Eastern Europeans, the Russians and that in there, as soon as you've got a Russian or Ukrainian passport, you're stuck. Most of them have been in there over a year.
They've no hope of getting out
No, literally until the
until the
war
war's
ends.
over.
Yeah, until the war's over, they can't leave. There was a Malaysian guy in there who I saw him a few times. He was very timid, very quiet. He spoke like some of the best English that I heard from sort of someone from Southeast Asia. I sort of looked at him. I could see he had all like burn marks and scars all over his arms, and he had big like whip marks all over his back and everything. I was sort of speaking to him about his story, and he was like, "Oh, he was involved in the Burmese telephone scams." So he basically got kidnapped and took to Burma to work in these call centers that do all the scamming out there just because he spoke English. When he tried to escape, they tortured him for 3 days, like burnt him and everything in Burma. So then he's escaped Burma and run into Thailand, and obviously ended up overstaying his visa and got arrested. He's in there, and I could just see him every day. Like he's just not. He's got no way of getting home. He's got no money. The Malaysian embassy are not. They wouldn't even. He'd been there 6 months. The Malaysian embassy hadn't visited him once. They refused to pay for his flights. They refused to give him any help. He basically had to get the money, or he's stuck there. You can see every day he's just getting worse and worse and worse. And it was sort of, I said to him, I was like, "Mate, how much is a flight to back home, like back to Malaysia?" I was like, "Look, I'm going home soon." I was like, "I'll help you when I get home." It was the first time in sort of at this point I've been there about 5 days. First time in 5 days I'd ever seen him smile. Like he'd cry himself to sleep every night. Like the sort of mental health in that place is like ridiculous. Amount of people that sitting there screaming in their sleep. You see someone come in quite normal. Because the thing is in there, say if you get medication, the room leader will take your medication off you and sell it to other people. So say you got some people in there that are suffering with severe mental health. Like say for instance, there was a man in there from England with bipolar. I sort of looked after him. He was getting beaten up regularly. I sort of stopped him getting in trouble, and sort of anyone that was in IDC that will watch this. If he was in IDC sat on from February until May, you'll know about this guy I'm on about who had bipolar. Constantly get beaten up because they took his medication from him and they were selling it to other people.
God, I can't imagine what it'd be like stuck in a place like that as a foreigner in
Yeah,
a foreign country and then not know when you're getting out. It's
yeah,
hopeless.
that's the thing. So I said no one's told anything. You're just shoved in this room, and what it is everyone's got a different story. No one's story is the same. So we're all in different situations. So you could hear one story of someone like, oh, yeah, my friend was here for one day and he went home. Like, yeah, that's because he's rich and he had loads of money to be able to pay and go home. Like, and his embassy was good. Like, so yeah, it's sort of there's a lot. Everyone's story is different. So you yourself until your embassy comes to you, gives you that bit of paper with your date on it, with your ticket, and says you're going home on this day. You're literally waking up every day just not knowing. Because the thing is, they won't tell you in advance. They'll literally come to you and go, so say they'll come in, but English, you're going home today. And they read out the names on the paper.
Is that what happened to you? Like, how did you get home?
Yeah. So I, like I said, I was there for a few days and the Irish guy got a message to my embassy for me. I then spoke to my embassy. They come to the immigration to see me at a meeting with me. So I explained everything. I gave them my dad's contact number because they like to check whether you can get help from family first before they sort of help you. They'd done all their checks, sort of said like, yeah, your dad's not got the money to be able to pay for your ticket. We'll give you a loan. We'll pay for your ticket. We'll pay for everything that you need while you're here. And then when you get home, you've got 6 months to pay us back. Worked out nearly 40,000 baht. It was £1,293 English. I ended up having to owe the embassy. But
And you were still able to get back even though you didn't have a passport.
yeah, because they gave me the emergency passport that literally lasted just for that one flight, and then they confiscated it. So at the moment, I'm not allowed to get a passport until I pay back the money to the embassy. So that's sort of their way of sort of getting the money back. Is I can't get a new passport, and they confiscated my emergency passport when I landed back in England at immigration. So, but yeah, it took
What was
me.
that feeling like to land, coming down and back into London and just being home after that crazy experience?
Yeah, it was like again, it was quite weird because no, I was saying about the boy with bipolar. He was from England, from London, from somewhere near where I was, and basically he had a flight booked the week before this, and he basically went crazy on the bus. So they put him down as not fit to fly. And at this point, the other English guy had already gone home, and they needed to basically him to have a chaperone because at this point I'd been looking after him. And I took his medication back off the room leader. I was making sure he got his medication and everything like this. And he was actually quite now calm, like normal bloke. Like he's taking his medication every day. He's as normal as someone with serious mental health can be. Um, and then basically I've found out that he needs to have a chaperone to be able to get home. So when the embassy have come and visit me and asked me about all my flight and everything like this, I've sort of said to him like, look, said to my embassy, you need to put him on the same flight as me. Otherwise, this guy's not going home. There's no one else English in this place. But this guy's going to be stuck here. The minute I leave, they're going to take his medication off him again and treat him the way they was treating him before. Like, so you need to get this. So I was sort of when I got released, it was like I'm still on babysit mode almost. That's what I sort of felt like because I'm having to babysit severely this bloke who's severely affected by mental health. I couldn't really think about myself. We were outside the airport at Savannah Boom, and I'm having to check through his bag to make sure he's got all vapes and everything in his bags. Like, yeah, you see people vaping in Thailand, but they're actually illegal. Like, if you get caught with a vape pen, like he's going back to prison.
You were looking out for him in case he got in trouble again.
Yeah, so I'm just making sure that he gets on this plane. Once he gets on the plane, he's not my problem anymore. He's home. My job's sort of done. But it was sort of up until that point of actually getting onto the plane, it was like I had obviously my issues in the back of my head, but my main thing was to make sure that this guy was okay. Because I've got a son that suffers with severe autism and mental health, so I sort of felt it a bit like a duty to look after this guy and sort of make sure he got home. And also, I can't stand bullies. I absolutely hate bullies. So when I saw him being bullied in that place and being from the same area as me in London, I sort of made sure he was alright and made sure he got home. But yeah, the weirdest thing was pulling up to the outside the Saily Promo airport in the back of a police bus, and you're right outside where all the public are. And I'm just sitting there on the back of the police bus. You've got everyone arriving and coming home from holiday or going home. She's walking past, just staring at you, thinking you're like the worst, must be the worst criminals in the entire world and everything.
Were you
So,
handcuffed?
yeah, he was handcuffed in there, yeah. And then we got took off the bus. Um, you get directed through by like immigration officials. They take you into the airport. You go to your check-in. They've got your flight. They've got your flight ticket. They've got your passport. The immigration. They then take you through. You then go through like not like the same security like normal people do. You basically go through like this back way, get all your bags searched and everything. You have to go down sort of underneath the airport, and there's like a big waiting room there, and you have to sit in there, and that's where you get all your fingerprints done. That's when you get told how long your ban is for. You get like your stamp done and your paperwork to say you've been deported and everything like that, and that's when you get given your emergency passport. So obviously that's when they told me that I've sort of received a year. I've definitely received a year ban. Sort of stamped my passport saying I've obviously been deported. We're going to have to be sat in this waiting room, sort of downstairs until the flight started boarding. We've then been took upstairs. We've had to sit right at the back of the plane, me and him. No one was allowed to sit next to us. So we were classed as criminals. They undone the handcuffs and we got on the plane. Luckily, uh, wouldn't let us drink any alcohol or anything on the plane. Weren't allowed anything like that.
So who was with you? Was it just who didn't
Just
let you
general
drink?
airline staff. It was
Okay.
just me, obviously the other English boy, and then like airline staff. But I presume they would have had someone probably with authority on the plane, but we probably just didn't know of him. But again, it was the captain of the sort of air hostess or whatever they are, like the sort of captain of the plane. He's the one that now he had our passports, and he would then take us through to immigration in England once we landed in England. Because I'm saying to him like, mate, we've been deported now. Like once you cross that line at the airport, you go past that red line at immigration, you've officially left Thailand. I've been stamped out of the country. Like, why am I still being treated like a criminal? Like,
Yeah,
I've
give me a
not,
beer. I need a
yeah,
beer after all this.
basically, yeah, get me a beer and just let me relax. Like, I'm going home. I want to be able to get to the airport and be treated normally. Like, I still don't know how I'm getting home because my dad lives about an hour away from the airport. I've not been able to get hold of him. I've not been able to speak to him. Yeah, so I'm just thinking, like, just treat me normally now. Like, I've not committed any crimes in England. Like, I'm not a criminal. I've literally overstayed my visa. You're treating me like I'm some absolute criminal. Like, I wasn't allowed off the plane with everyone else. I had to wait till everyone else got off the plane first. Like, we had to be the last ones on the plane. Like, everyone knew. Like, we walked on the plane in cuffs, and then they've undone our handcuffs when we sat down. Like, it was embarrassing more than anything. Like, and then again, we've landed in England, and straight I've gone like, give me my passport. Like, give me my passport, let me go through immigration and all this. They're like, no, you have to come and get extra checks done. So you then have to go down into immigration at Heathrow Airport, now be interviewed by a UK immigration to sort of and tell them why I've been deported and everything. And I'm like, why does it matter? I'm a UK citizen. I was born in this country. Why does it matter
Yeah, I
what
don't
I've
have to
done
explain
abroad?
anything to you. I'm back
Yeah,
in
I
the
don't have
UK.
to. Yeah, I'm not going to prison here. I'm not wanted in this country. Like, there's no warrants or anything for me here. Like, just let me leave. Just let me go home. And then they've given me my emergency passport. It's like a blue passport instead of a red one. And I've got to the passport control at Heathrow. They've obviously opened it up and sort of I've had that letter from the embassy to explain I've been deported from Thailand and things like this. And straight away they've kept the passport. I'm like, oh, can I have that? can I have that back? Like, don't I need that? Like, no, like you have to pay back your fine first. And then once you've paid back the embassy, you'll be allowed to apply for a new passport. We're keeping this one. And basically, there was off you go. So now I'm standing in Heathrow Airport. I've got still only got a rucksack. Like, I've literally just got my rucksack. I'm standing in the middle of Heathrow Airport. I've managed to get this boy through all immigration, everything fine with him. I've then basically gone to him. I'm like, look, mate, like I need to get a train home. I will get a train back. I ain't got no money on me. Like, basically, lend me a bit of money for the train. He was like, yeah, fine. Like, he's giving me some money for the train. And then yeah, I've phoned my dad, and at this point I was in tears. To be honest, phoned my dad, and he was like, "Oh, like, hello, you right?" Because I've not spoken to my dad the whole time I was in prison, so he's not heard from me for a while now. He doesn't know whether I'm healthy. He doesn't know whether I'm okay. He's like, "Oh, Mark, like, are you okay? You okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm home." Like, I was like, "I'm home, Dad," and literally, like me just saying them words that I'm home made me like I physically broke down. Sitting by the baggage claim bit in Heathrow Airport, literally just I was crying for good 10, 15 minutes, just non-stop, just couldn't move. Um,
It was probably just the stress of it all, you know, the release. Like,
yeah,
here I am, I'm back in England.
yeah, it was
Nothing can
literally
happen to me now.
just a full-on relief of it. And then, like I said, I've come out of the airport, gone for gone for a cigarette, and then yeah, I've ended up getting on the underground. Got the train back to where my dad lives, and again, the sort of best feeling in the world was because my dad was still having my children for me on every other weekend while I was living in Thailand, sort of still keep like the relationship, and I'd FaceTime while I was in Thailand. But considering we're now in end of May, I'd not spoken to my children since November because of everything that had been going on. I'd not spoken. I walked in and it was the exact weekend that my dad had my children. So yeah, again, that was an amazing feeling. Sort of walk through the door, sort of open my dad's door and have my dad and my two children standing there. The day I come home was amazing. Yeah. So, and I said I've been back now, yeah, about a month and a half, and just
Yeah, I
started
mean, it's
to get
very.
used to it a little bit.
Yeah, what's
So
it like? I mean, it's very very recent. I mean, you've only you're back what, less than 2 months or 2 months.
yeah, yeah. May the fourth I landed back. Star Wars Day. So yeah,
What I mean, is there some kind of anticlimax? You've gone on this, I'm gonna say, adventure. I mean, it was an
yeah,
adventure. It was has everything that a movie would have.
yeah.
And now you're back in the UK. How do you feel now after getting back the last 2 months?
It's hard. The big things aren't that much. It's all the little things. Getting back used to sleeping in the bed. Like could have for the first couple of weeks, I couldn't sleep in the bed. I was sleeping on the floor in my dad's house because the bed felt so uncomfortable to me. I was having suffered quite badly with some mental health myself when I first come back, just from things I'd witnessed and things like that. I was having night terrors. I was screaming in my sleep and things like this, having really bad nightmares. My dad would wake me up, which I'm now currently on medication for. I have to take medication to be able to sleep. Um, so yeah, it's affected my day to day life. Really, I've been signed off work. Been told that I cannot work due to my mental health and things like this. So yeah, it's had a sort of ongoing effect, which I didn't really think it would have, but I feel like it affected me a lot more than I thought it did. Sort of when it comes to sort of day to day living back in England. Obviously, I'm quite lucky that I come back and the summer's been okay this year, so I've not been too bad getting used to the weather again in England. But yeah, just little things like having a hot shower. I'm not used a shower in so long. I'm using a bucket and things like this. Like everything felt so weird. Like cooking, I couldn't cook for myself. Like I was waking up in the morning, sort of in England, still cooking rice and chicken for my breakfast. It was all the little things trying to transition back in. I'm still trying at the minute. Certain things have got better. like I'm still on medication and things like that to sleep because I find it so hard to get to sleep. Just because thoughts of everything that's happened just sort of going constantly back round in my head. Obviously, I'm disappointed with how it did all happen, considering I went out there with big dreams. It's hard when I've got people now back home messaging me going, "Oh, you're back," or if I see someone when I'm out, "Oh, what happened? What happened?" And I'm sort of sitting there like, oh, basically, I feel like a failure. I feel like I failed because obviously last
I
time I
wouldn't
spoke
look at it
to,
like that, Mark.
yeah,
I wouldn't look at it like a failure, man. You've probably survived something that 99% of people would never survive.
yeah,
I mean, you've gone through this. You've been homeless. You survived homelessness in a foreign country. You were able to go through the whole prison system in a foreign country, Thailand. I mean, how many people? And you said you witnessed people die. You've
yeah,
done things that you've gone through. Of course, you're going to have mental health problems after coming out the end. Who wouldn't?
yeah,
But you've come out. You've done something that you've gone through a process that 99% of people it would break them. So you shouldn't look at yourself as a failure.
yeah,
You should look at yourself like, you couldn't do it. They couldn't do it. You
yeah,
know?
yeah. I know. Yeah, it's just
That's the positive way of looking at it.
yeah. I said that to you when I first spoke to you. Like, I'm lucky and I'm grateful for the Thai people to obviously getting me through the situations I was in and sort of me being sort of as strong minded as I can to get myself through everything that happened. But like I said, it's just one of the biggest reasons why I didn't sit there and bite my lip. I should have come home a year before this. When things started going wrong with the business, I should have bit my lip and come home. But the hardest thing is male pride. Is that sort of to say, like, yeah, and especially where there was a few of us that had all gone out there to start a business, and it was always like a little thing of who's going to be the first one to go home, like who's going to be the first one to sort of give up, like, and there
Are
was
they
always
still
that.
out there?
No, only one of them is. There was four of us that went out there to begin with, and only one's left. So yeah, he's still out there. But yeah, me and two others have ended up coming back.
Man, it's not a failure to leave or have the experience that you
Yeah,
did. Think of how it'll stand to you in the years to come, you know?
yeah, that's what I'm sort of seeing it as. It's like a big learning curve. I know exactly. I don't know if I ever would, just because I love Thailand. I love the people of Thailand. Obviously for what they've done for me. Uh, it's an absolute beautiful country. Do you know what I mean? The place is absolute paradise. But I feel like from where I did go there and have the end to my trip like this, I will go back there again for a holiday. But I don't think I'll ever go back there to live full time again. But I definitely will in some part of Southeast Asia. Asia just feels like home to me. Just the lifestyle, what you can get to live out there, um, is yeah, is where I want to be. So it's sort of I know exactly what not to do next time. Like this has been like my sort of learning curve, knowing what to do, what not to do. But now I know if I do go back, I know how to live. I know ways to live. I know how to get by, not what to do, not what tricks to fall for, and things like this. So it's been yeah, it taught me a hell of a lot. Yeah,
And even still, Mark, I mean, you're a great talker. I mean, I mean, we've been going nearly 2 hours, have we?
yeah,
We've been going 2.5 hours.
yeah. I know. Yeah, it's been a
No, 3 hours, is it? Holy shit, this is the longest interview I've ever done. But if I've been stuck to my seat here. I mean,
yeah,
you've been able to take that story and talk for 3 hours, right?
yeah,
So you have skills. You're a great talker. You should be, and you have a great story to tell. There's more podcasts for you down the line. I'll be trying to get, if I were you, I'd be trying to do more podcasts, motivational speaking, stuff like that,
yeah,
getting into schools, talk to kids, stop them going
yeah. No, I've
down,
definitely
making the
been
same mistakes.
yeah, I've been thinking about that and sort of maybe trying to get see if I can write a book in the near future is my
Yeah, write a
next sort
book.
of
Yeah.
thing. Yeah, I've been sort of thinking about that. This was like my first. I say you're the first person I've ever messaged about doing this because, like I said, a lot of stories that you do cover were similar and along the sort of similar sort of background to what mine is. That's why I sort of wanted to have this as like my stepping stone to be able to get the almost like the confidence to be able to speak about it. because like I said, I've not spoken to anyone, even my friends. Sometimes it does help speaking to a stranger, someone that doesn't judge you, um, things like this. But yeah, I've not told anyone this story.
Man, that was an incredible story, man. I feel like I need to have a drink with you after that.
Yeah, yeah, I feel like I'll do that as well. I've tried to keep off the Chang since I've been back. So yeah, uh,
Yeah, do you? Yeah, so are you staying off the booze?
yeah. I mean, I'll have a little beer here and there, but yeah, I'm not like I was. Like I said, I wasn't a big drinker in this country before anyway. But when I sort of saw the bright lights of Bangor Road and Kalsan and places like this, it sort of yeah, it all sort of took over.
That
So
Thailand can do that, you know. We can.
yeah, yeah. There's something about it. It's like a magnet.
Yeah, it is. And
Yeah,
whatever your vice is, Thailand caters to your vice, and it will
yeah,
push you along that line, that edge
yeah,
of if you can handle it or not, and Thailand will play with you along that line.
yeah. Exactly.
Sometimes you'll
And it
go
gives you
over.
every temptation in the world is there.
Yeah,
I mean, at the end of the day, I'm a single. I was 32 when I went there. Like single 32-year-old with a decent bit of money in my pocket. It's absolute surrounded by beautiful women, beautiful beaches and bars. It's
the perfect combination or
yeah.
the worst
But like I said,
combination depends.
I should have left it as the holiday. Personally, I think I should have when I went there for the 2 3 weeks of holiday I spent. That's what I should have left it as a holiday destination rather than trying it. Or my
Yeah, but you
one
have an
one bit
experience
was
for a lifetime.
yeah is not to get a don't get a business at 30 on Bangor Road if you like a drink.
Mark, I have to ask you the tattoo there, King. What inspired you to get the tattoo?
It's what my kids call me. My daughter sort of calls me king. She's my princess.
Right on.
Um,
It's a big move to get it on your face, though, isn't it?
yeah, I know. I've always been a bit, always wanted a face tattoo. I don't know why. Um, but I've got a few tattoos. I've got like my hand. I've got my front, all my full front
Yeah,
piece.
like but I thought I thought when I saw you on Instagram, I thought you're gonna have a full sleeve or whatever, and
Yeah,
then
yeah. No, my arms are. Yeah, I've got. That's actually my ex Thai girlfriend. That one. So,
she put that on, she tattooed that on.
yeah, well, no, we went together. I got this one, and she
Oh,
got a
she got the
matching
other
one as
one.
well.
Oh.
So, yeah.
I mean, do you get looks of when of people when they see the face tattoo?
Sometimes, I mean, not so much now. I mean, I got this done nearly 6 7 years ago on my face. I think now it's a bit more accepted. I've got a lot more looks in Asia for it
Really?
than what I really do in England. Um,
I'd
and
say
it's
when
not
you're in the
like
prison though, they probably thought you real hard, man, because you had a tattoo in your
yeah,
face.
because again, a lot in there, a lot of the um, shall we say, like not mafia but mafia type of people in the prison, they're covered in face tattoos. It's like their thing. If you have a face tattoo there, you're a gangster, basically, is what they see it.
And they'd probably understand King, would they? They would
Yeah,
understand
yeah, yeah. So obviously I used to make a joke that it was for the King of Thailand. So
that.
yeah,
They probably love that.
yeah, exactly. Because
Wow.
you're not allowed to speak bad about the King out there, are you? So yeah, I used to say, yeah, I'm the King of England. So I used to say, right. Yeah, it's just I was on holiday with my kids and my ex girlfriend, and yeah, I walked past a little place, and it was like any tattoo, £20. I think it was in a place called Skegness. Don't know if you ever heard of
Yeah,
that.
yeah, I heard of it, yeah.
It's like a caravan destination. So I went there with the kids. And then, yeah, I was walking back. I just said, oh, what should I get? Went to my daughter, what tattoo should I get? And she said, told me to get a crown. Said to get a crown on my head because I'm the king and she's my princess. My son's a prince. So yeah, I ended up getting the actual king with the crown on it. So yeah,
Legend.
it's not too bad.
All right, Mark. Look, take it
Oh,
easy. I'll talk to you soon, yeah?
yeah, yeah, I will
Thanks
do.
for
Yeah,
doing it.
I'm gonna go get some food and chill out now.
Yeah, take it. You
Oh,
need a break after that.
yeah,
Go
yeah,
on,
yeah.
talk to you
No,
later.
thank you.
See you later, Mark.
Cheers,
Cheers.
mate.